Story 5. My Old Home by Lu Xun. Summary. My Old Home by Lu Xun is a reflective story that explores themes of memory, disillusionment, social class, and the passage of time. The narrator returns to his childhood town in China after many years and experiences a series of revelations that challenge his idealized recollections. The story begins with the narrator's return to his hometown, prompting a flood of memories from his youth. He recalls his brief friendship with June Tu, a laborer's child, and reconnects with forgotten neighbors. As the narrator and his mother prepare to leave, they sell their belongings, signifying their detachment from the past. The central theme of the story revolves around the tension between the narrator's nostalgic memories and the stark reality he encounters. He is confronted by the deterioration of his family's former grandeur, as the old house they lived in is now rundown and weather-beaten. This contrast between his romanticized past and the present state of the house challenges his preconceived notions and prompts him to question the authenticity of his memories. The narrator's reunion with Runtu, a childhood friend, further underscores the theme of disillusionment. Anticipating a joyous encounter, he is met with a stark reality that contradicts his idealized memories. This discrepancy between his perception and reality serves as a reminder that time and distance have distorted his understanding of the past. Lu Xun also delves into the theme of social class, highlighting the narrator's naivety as a child in perceiving societal hierarchies. The narrator believed that his friendship with Runtu was a true bond, but he later discovers that Runtu was merely a servant. This revelation challenges his belief in their equal companionship and exposes the disparity between their social backgrounds. Furthermore, the story explores the broader societal context of China during that time. The narrator's embellished memories serve as a defense mechanism against the harsh realities of social inequality and injustice. However, his return to his hometown forces him to confront these issues and recognize the complexities hidden beneath his selective memories. In conclusion, My Old Home by Lu Xun is a contemplative narrative that delves into memory, disillusionment, and societal class distinctions. Through the narrator's recollections and encounters, the story examines how nostalgia and personal biases can distort our understanding of the past. It serves as a poignant reflection on the passage of time and the complexities of human perception. Understanding the text. Answer the following questions. How does the narrator describe his feeling at the arrival of his old home? The narrator experiences a complex mix of emotions upon arriving at his old home. Initially, he carries a sense of anticipation and nostalgia, fueled by his positive memories of the past. However, as he stands before his childhood residence, his emotions quickly shift towards disappointment and disillusionment. He had hoped to find changes and improvements in the surroundings, reflecting the passage of time. The stagnancy and lack of transformation around him contrast sharply with his optimistic expectations. This emotional shift underscores the contrast between his romanticized recollections and the unvarnished reality before him, revealing the gap between memory and the present moment. The narrator's feelings encapsulate the bittersweet nature of returning to a cherished place, only to find it frozen in time and at odds with one's idealized memories. B. What were the three kinds of servants in China then? What does it indicate about contemporary Chinese society? The division of servants into three categories in former Chinese society reflects a hierarchical and structured approach to labor, highlighting the societal norms and practices of that era. The first category, day workers or short-timers, were employed for temporary tasks and likely belonged to a more flexible labor force. The second group, yearlongs, denoted individuals committed to serving a single family throughout the year, signifying a deeper level of engagement and stability in employment. Lastly, busy-monthers referred to those who provided labor during specific periods, such as holidays or when the household was occupied. The existence of three types of servants in former Chinese society reflects the structure and hierarchy of labor during that era. It offers insights into the societal norms, economic dynamics, and social stratification of the time, shedding light on the complex interplay between different segments of the population and their roles in the broader socio-economic framework. C. What makes the narrator nostalgic? What did he do with Runtu in the teenage? The narrator's nostalgia is deeply rooted in his memories of his childhood friend, Runtu. Their shared experiences of playing together in a sandy field during their early years hold significant sentimental value for the narrator. The emotional attachment and the purity of their youthful adventures contribute to his strong sense of nostalgia. The narrator's mother suggesting a reunion with Runtu after years triggers a flood of sentimental memories and emotions. The prospect of reconnecting with his childhood friend acts as a powerful trigger for his nostalgia, reminding him of the simpler, carefree days they spent together. These recollections of their playful interactions and shared moments form a bridge between the narrator's present reality and his past. Nostalgia emerges from the desire to relive the joyful moments of youth, and the narrator's feelings highlight the enduring impact that early friendships and experiences can have on one's emotional well-being. The memories of their time together serve as a conduit through which the narrator's deep emotional connection to his past is revived, showcasing the significance of cherished memories in shaping one's perception of the past and present. D. How did Runtu hunt a Xia in his young age? During his youth, Runtu exhibited a remarkable display of courage and determination by decisively hunting a Xia. Armed with a knife, he launched a swift and forceful attack on the Xia, harnessing his strength with great aggression. This audacious act highlights Runtu's exceptional skills and unwavering resolve as a young person, illustrating his willingness to face challenges head-on and his fearless pursuit of objectives. Runtu's fearless and resolute behavior portrays him as a determined individual unafraid of challenges, emphasizing his readiness to take on difficulties and his proactive approach to achieving his ambitions. E. How does the narrator make a humorous picture of Mrs. Young? The narrator humorously portrays Mrs. Young, a former employee of a bean curd shop located across from his house. Famously known as Bean Curd Beauty, she spent much of her day at the shop. The narrator reminisces about her role in attracting customers to the shop. Through his recollections, the narrator paints a comical image of Mrs. Yang, depicting her as a significant and bustling figure in the neighborhood. Her constant presence at the shop and her reputation as Bean Curd Beauty contribute to the lighthearted and amusing depiction the narrator creates. The humorous portrayal of Mrs. Young reflects her impact on the local community and adds a playful element to the narrative, bringing a sense of nostalgia and amusement to the memories of the past. F. According to the narrator, what were different factors that made Runtu a poor man throughout his life? The narrator describes Runtu, his childhood friend and former temporary servant, as a quiet but spirited individual. Runtu's life of poverty, according to the narrator, was influenced by various factors. These included societal divisions, obligations, discrimination, limited opportunities, a weak economic background, and the dominance of aristocracy. These elements combined to contribute to Runtu's disadvantaged circumstances and lack of prosperity throughout his life. The narrator's observations shed light on the complex interplay of social and economic factors that influenced Runtu's impoverished status, highlighting the systemic challenges he faced in attempting to improve his situation. G. How does the narrator help Runtu before leaving the old home? Before leaving the old home, the narrator extends his help to Runtu by providing him with essential household items. Recognizing Runtu's financial difficulties and their impending departure, the narrator decides to support him. He offers Runtu 2 large tables, a collection of candles, an incense burner, and a set of scales. This act of kindness demonstrates the narrator's concern for Runtu's well-being and his willingness to assist him in starting anew. The provision of these basic necessities signifies the narrator's gesture of friendship and empathy towards Runtu, symbolizing their shared history and the bonds formed during their time together. H. How does the author differentiate 2 kinds of idols? The author draws a distinction between 2 types of idols in the story: superstitious idols and hope. He points out that while hope is not exactly an idol people wish to endure in the days to come, it is a more enduring and positive force. On the other hand, the superstitious idol is a temporary object of worship, often sought for immediate gains. This differentiation highlights the author's view that while superstitious practices may offer short-term comfort or solutions, they lack the lasting impact and genuine positive influence that hope can provide. By contrasting these 2 types of idols, the author underscores the importance of fostering genuine hope and positivity over seeking fleeting solutions through superstitious beliefs. Reference to the context. While reading the friendship between the narrator and Runtu, Hindu readers remember the friendship between Krishna and Sudama. Which particular description reminds you of the mythological example? The friendship between the narrator and Runtu in the story reflects the timeless theme that a friend in need is a true friend. Regardless of wealth and social status, genuine friendship prevails. This narrative resonates with the mythological example of Krishna and Sudama from the Mahabharata. In both stories, economic disparities don't hinder the deep bond between friends. The comparison is particularly evident in the similarities between the narrator and Runtu's relationship and that of Krishna and Sudama. Sudama, a low-caste Brahmin in poverty, was friends with the wealthy king Krishna. Similarly, the narrator, from an upper-class background, forms a close friendship with Runtu, who comes from humble beginnings. Both Krishna and Lusun aid their less fortunate friends, with Krishna assisting Sudama and Lusun providing Runtu with household necessities. The parallel continues as both Sudama and Runtu feel bashful and uncomfortable upon encountering their friends. Sudama experienced shyness when visiting Krishna, much like Runtu's embarrassment upon meeting Lusun. Both friendships transcend societal barriers and reflect the universal value of friendship in the face of challenges. The story of the narrator and Runtu thus brings to mind the timeless mythological example of Krishna and Sudama, underscoring the enduring nature of genuine camaraderie. B. How does the story support the proposition that the relationships of childhood are innocent, impartial and disinterested? The story My Old Home supports the proposition that childhood relationships are innocent, impartial, and disinterested. The narrator, Lusun, and Runtu share a genuine bond from their youth, untainted by social hierarchies. Their interactions were free from selfish motives and driven by pure companionship. Their memories of hunting together and playing in a watermelon field showcased their unbiased and unselfish nature. This is exemplified by the fact that they engaged in activities together without concern for social status. The master-slash-servant dynamic between Lusun and Runtu didn't overshadow their friendship. The story portrays how childhood relationships are unspoiled by adult complexities and showcased the true essence of innocence, impartiality, and selflessness. C. After reading the story, what inferences can you make about contemporary Chinese economic and social system? My Old Home offers insights into the economic and social structure of contemporary China during that time. The story underscores the complex interrelationships among individuals from different social classes, revealing the challenges of forming meaningful connections across societal divides. The character of Runtu embodies the struggles of the impoverished working class, highlighting their hardships and marginal living conditions. The three categories of servants, year-longs, short-timers, and busy-monthers, reflect the class hierarchy and servitude prevalent in Chinese society. The tale illustrates the discontentment caused by feudal ideologies and economic exploitation, shedding light on the peasants' suffering and the underlying factors contributing to their harsh living conditions. The story serves as a lens to view the disparities and hardships that existed within the contemporary Chinese economic and social system, showcasing the complexities of relationships, inequalities, and the impacts of societal structures. D. What does the story indicate about the geographical features of the narrator's hometown? The story provides glimpses of the geographical features of the narrator's hometown. The description of little towns and villages spread across a vast landscape suggests a rural setting with scattered settlements. The landscape appears serene and tranquil, with soft green melons stretching as far as the eye can see. The mention of capturing birds, hunting creatures, and collecting shells near the seaside hints at a coastal or riverside location. The narrator's recollections of New Year's Eve celebrations and the winter setting with a cold wind highlight the seasonal changes in the region. Overall, the story offers insights into the natural surroundings of the narrator's hometown, painting a picture of a simple, rural environment with elements of both land and sea. Reference beyond the text. Human beings are on the road from time immemorial, always migrating to new places. Write an essay on the trend of migration in Nepal in about 300 words. The trend of migration in Nepal. Migration has been a consistent human phenomenon throughout history, fueled by factors such as economic opportunities, social changes, and globalization. In the context of Nepal, migration has taken on various dimensions, both within the country's borders and beyond its borders. This essay will explore the trends and implications of migration in Nepal. Internally, rural to urban migration has been a significant trend. Over the years, the proportion of rural to urban population has shifted, indicating a move towards urban centers. In 2058 BS, the rural population constituted 86.1% while the urban population was 13.9%. However, by 2068, this ratio had shifted to 82.89% rural and 17.1% urban. This transition signifies a notable movement of people from villages to cities, driven by the allure of better economic prospects, improved access to education and healthcare, and the promise of a more modern lifestyle. The internal migration trend is not limited to rural-urban dynamics. People from the mountainous and hilly regions have historically migrated to the Terai, especially along major transportation routes like the East-West Highway. Census data shows a decline in the mountainous and hilly population, implying a migration towards the Terai region. This movement, while driven by multiple factors, is often motivated by the pursuit of livelihood opportunities and improved living conditions in the relatively fertile and accessible Terai plains. On the international front, Nepal has witnessed a surge in global migration, particularly during the 1990s when globalization and open market policies gained momentum. The number of Nepalese living abroad for work purposes has increased significantly, contributing to the positive side of migration. Remittances sent back by Nepali migrant workers have become a crucial source of income for many households, alleviating poverty and supporting local economies. Additionally, returning migrants often bring back new skills, experiences, and exposure to different cultures, which can contribute to the overall development of the country. However, unmanaged migration has also brought challenges. The influx of people into urban areas has strained infrastructure and services, leading to issues like inadequate sewage and waste management. The job market has become overcrowded, leading to unemployment and inequality. Inconsistent social progress, rising crime rates, and security concerns have also emerged as negative consequences. In conclusion, migration is a complex phenomenon in Nepal, involving both internal shifts from rural to urban areas and international movement in search of better economic prospects. Managed migration can bring positive impacts, such as remittances, skill development, and exposure to diverse cultures. However, unregulated migration can lead to imbalanced development, strained resources, and social challenges. As Nepal moves forward, it is crucial to address the opportunities and challenges posed by migration through effective policies and strategies that harness its benefits while mitigating its negative consequences. Find one of your relatives or friends who has migrated to a new place leaving his/her old home. Talk to him, her, and prepare a report on what she felt while leaving the old home. I had the opportunity to talk to my childhood friend Raju, who recently moved to a new place in the Terai district of Japa along with his parents. Raju shared his feelings and experiences about leaving his old home and starting a new chapter in a different location. Raju's family made the decision to move because they had purchased a piece of land with a small home in Japa. As they prepared to leave their old home, Raju's father took charge of the process. He gathered their belongings, sold the furniture, and distributed some items to their neighbors as a token of gratitude for their support over the years. Raju expressed a mix of emotions as they bid farewell to their old home. He recalled the carefree days of his childhood spent with his friends in the village and the familiar places where he used to relax with his loved ones. The memories of playing in the fields, sharing laughter with his friends, and the warmth of his old home were deeply ingrained in his heart. On the day of departure, Raju's family was gathered outside their gate, ready to embark on their new journey. As they said their goodbyes, Raju noticed the somber expressions on the faces of his neighbors who had gathered to bid them farewell. It was evident that their departure had touched the hearts of those who had shared countless moments with them. Raju's family not only left behind a physical space but also a web of emotional connections. He talked about how his neighbors seemed to be saddened by their departure, expressing their feelings through the simple word farewell. Raju's voice resonated with a sense of nostalgia as he remembered the camaraderie, shared experiences, and the sense of belonging that their old home had provided. In conclusion, Raju's experience of leaving his old home was a mixture of nostalgia, gratitude, and anticipation for the new journey ahead. The memories of his childhood and the strong bonds with his neighbors made the transition bittersweet. While he was excited about the opportunities in the new place, he couldn't help but feel a sense of longing for the cherished moments and the sense of community he left behind in his old home. Best of luck.